Thank you, brothers and sisters, and welcome to another edition of the Bible show, Truth Hour. I'm your host, Black Ice.
I am Brother Julius.
And today we're going to deal with biblical myths. People are asking the question for over hundreds of years, if Adam and Eve only had two children, Cain and Abel, two male children, well then where did all the rest of the people on the earth come from? So brothers and sisters, there's no inconsistencies in the Bibles. It's only those things in which we do not understand. But we have the answer to that question today here on the Bible show Truth Hour. And we're going to deal with where Cain got his wife from and where did the rest of the population come from. Both times, brothers and sisters, here on the Bible show Truth Hour. We're going to go ahead and begin in Genesis.
Genesis 1 and 26. It reads, "And God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creep up on the earth." So God created man in his own image, sisters and brothers. Male and female created he them.
So brothers and sisters, just to make a mental note right here, man consists of both male and female. Man is the species, male and female are the genders, brothers and sisters. So when God created man, he created both Adam and Eve. Brother Julius?
Verse 3, and God blessed them. Why did he use the word them when he's talking about the man here? Because the them covers man, which is a plural word, one, yet more than one in the man family. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. Replenish the earth, sisters and brothers, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that move upon the earth.
So brothers and sisters, we wanted to establish first the creation of man before we get straight into Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel, and where all these other people came from. If Adam and Eve supposedly only had two male children. Brother Julius?
Let's go to Genesis 2, Black Ice, and show you. Now, Genesis, the first chapter, is a blueprint. But let's go into the second chapter, and let's look at it be brought forth. Genesis 2:4. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. Check this out, sisters and brothers. Verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
So brothers and sisters, again, this only confirms what we already read in Genesis 1, which Brother Julius so eloquently explained. Chapter 1 of Genesis is the blueprint. Chapter 2 is the actual creation or work being done. So here we have man being created out of the dust of the ground, both male and female.
Yes.
And now we're going to go ahead and go to our next chapter.
We're going to continue Genesis chapter 2, sisters and brothers. Look at this. Verse 16. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. So one thing about this man is that if he obeys, he can live forever. If he disobeys, man will die. I want to skip down, Black Ice, to verse 21. It reads, and the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and clothed the flesh there instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. That's why the Lord said it was created, male and female created he them. But now you're looking at the actual creation of the man and where the woman came from. The man came from the ground. The woman came from the man.
Absolutely, brothers and sisters.
Let's move on, Black Cat. Let's go to Genesis chapter 4, and let's look at what Adam did. Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1. It reads, and Adam knew Eve, his wife.
Now let's just stop there, brothers and sisters. It's not that Adam just met his wife or became acquainted with her. When you read the word in the Bible that a person knew their wife, It only means that the consummation of the marriage has taken place. In other words, the sexual part, brothers and sisters. So
yes.
when it says Adam knew Eve, that means that he laid with her or had sexual relations with her. So we'll go ahead, but keep that as a mental note, Brother Julius.
And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So Adam didn't know his wife one time and got Abel. She bare Cain. He knew his wife again, and she bare Cain, Abel's sisters and brothers. So he knew her twice. At this point, let's stay in chapter 4 and skip down to 16. So over the process of time, Cain killed his brother Abel. So now look what happened. At verse 16, it reads, and Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife.
Well, wait a minute, brothers and sisters. Let's stop there. We are only reading at this point about Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel. Cain kills his brother Abel.
Yes.
He goes from the presence of the Lord into the land of Nod, which is east of Eden. And then there it says that he knew his wife. Now, here's the tricky word, brothers and sisters. Knew. It didn't say he found his wife in the land of Nod. It says he knew his wife in the land of Nod, brothers and sisters. So just the same as Adam knew Eve, not discovering her, not just meeting her, but consummating their marriage with sexual relations, here is saying that Cain knew his wife, which means that he was consummating their marriage with sexual relations. But the question is, where did he get his wife from? Brother Julius?
Let's continue this, Black Ice, at verse 17. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son, Enoch. Let's look at some more creating. 25. And Adam knew his wife again.
There you go.
And she bare a son and called his name Seth.
So wait a minute. Adam and Eve had more than 2 children, Cain and Abel?
Yes.
Well, we're reading about a third one now, whose name was Seth. Continue, Brother Julius.
For God said, she has appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son. He called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. So, sisters and brothers, now we see that the children that are born are beginning to have children of their own.
Grandchildren.
So now, Black Eyes, where did these people come from? Here's the answer. Genesis 5:1. This is the book of the generations of Adam, in the day that God created man. In the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created. And Adam lived 130 years and begat a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth.
So here, brothers and sisters, it leaves out Cain and Abel, brothers and sisters, and it goes straight to Seth. But here's the key part of that. Not only did Adam and Eve have Seth, let's read further, Brother Julius.
And Adam lived 130 years and begat a son in his own likeness after his image, and called his name Seth. And the days of Adam after he begat Seth were 800 years.
So, brothers and sisters, let's just stop right there. This is what you call learning something on the way to learning something. A day for the Lord is as equal to 1,000 years. The day that you shall eat upon this tree, you shall surely die. Adam did not exceed living 1,000 years. So in the days of the Lord, a day equaling 1,000 years, if Adam only lived 800 years, brothers and sisters, then he did not exceed a day. He died the same day that he was created, because he only lived 800 years and never reached 1,000 years. I just wanted to share that with you so we can learn something on the way to learning.
Let's read it again, Black Ice. Verse Genesis 5:4. And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years. Remember, he lived 130 years and begat Seth, but then he lived another 800 years. And he begat sons and daughters.
Oh, now, brothers and sisters, Adam and Eve had sons, plural, and daughters, plural, brothers and sisters. So, it never stated in this Bible when Cain took upon himself a wife. We can't find that. it's not chronologically written, brothers and sisters, but if Adam and Eve had more sons and more daughters, brothers and sisters, this was a daughter of Adam and Eve, or a sister of Cain,
yes,
that he could take with him,
yes,
to the land of Nod. That's why it never said that he found his wife in the land of Nod. It only said that he knew his wife in the land of Nod, brothers and sisters. How did he know his wife or have a sexual consummation of their marriage? Because he took one of his sisters from Adam and Eve with him. Brother Julius, go ahead.
Let's continue this, Black Ice. Look at this. Verse 5. And all the days that Adam lived, his whole entire lifetime, were 930 years. Because he lived 130 years and begot Cain and Abel, but it don't say when. Then he had Seth. But then he lived another 800 years and begot sons and daughters. Let's skip down for the sake of time. Verse 8. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enos lived 90 years and begot Canaan. And Enos lived after he begot Canaan 800 years, 815 years, and begot sons and daughters. So all these sons and daughters are being born. So they kin to one another. The brothers are marrying the sisters to populate the earth. Let me show you how it goes. Let's go to Genesis, the 9th chapter. God destroyed all life by flood except Noah, his wife, their 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. Right. So now everybody is dead except all the people that's on the boat, on the ark. Look at what the Lord told Noah in Genesis chapter 9. Verse 1. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. So the Lord used the same principle that he told Adam and Eve. He told Noah the same thing. Be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. But you got to have a male and a female, because angels,
that's right,
do not reproduce.
So brothers and sisters, the question is, when it comes to Noah and his wife, their sons and their wives, brothers and sisters, how do you think population came after the flood? The brothers had to marry the sisters in order to keep the population going. That was nothing new, brothers and sisters. So again, Cain took his sister with him to the land of Nod as his wife. And then there they consummated their marriage, like most of us do today, by having sexual relations. And that's why the Bible said Cain knew his wife, not found his wife, but knew his wife. Brother